guys, welcome back to the Watch Standard YouTube channel. Today we're not coming with you with the podcast. We're actually going to be changing our podcast schedule. So it's going to be every other week. But today we do have a video for you guys that kind of talks about which watch to get your recent grad or your dad. It is June after all. So you probably have a recent graduate that you know, or your dad that you're thinking about, you're trying to think about what to get them. And we've come up with a few watches to give either your recent grad or your dad. So let's start off with grads. What do you think, David?
All right. Well, first off, I just want to say congratulations to all the recent grads. You know, you guys have completed a significant thing. You guys got a degree. You guys finished your undergrad. You guys are moving on to your master's. You know, maybe you guys are getting a PhD. So definitely congratulations. A lot of times people will commemorate these special days with a Rolex or with a timepiece. So that being said, the first thing I want to mention is that the Submariner category is probably one for you. And here's why. The Submariner is a very iconic piece. It's been with Rolex for ages and ages. It's one of their longest running productions. So it's definitely something that's, one, recognizable. Everyone knows what a Submariner is. And two, it's probably one of the more attainable pieces compared to a GMT or a Daytona. The Submariner is always going to be one of those classic pieces. And just for reference, even James Bond used a Submariner, or he had a sub. And like, if it's good enough for James Bond, it's good enough for you, you know? So definitely Submariner is going to be probably my first pick. So like I said, the sub is definitely going to be one of the top picks in my opinion. But I think there is another category that also stands the test of time. And that would be the Datejust.
Yeah, the longtime bestseller Datejust. It not only is the one that has like a limitless of varieties, as far as sizes, as far as whether it's two-tone, smooth bezel, fluted bezel, different colors for every dial. I think you're able to find at least one good watch that's like perfect for your recent graduate. And yeah, the Datejust, in my opinion, is like the watch to kind of give if you want someone that has like, whether they want something a little bit more daintier, a little bit that they can like wear every day. That would be like either the 28 millimeter or the 31 millimeter. Otherwise, yeah, it's a very classic watch. The silhouette of the watch is like super, like if you see it, you know it. And it's definitely the everyday watch.
Yeah, I really can agree with you more. The Datejust is definitely one of those watches with basically a limitless type of combination. And every single one, you could really take it wherever you go. I mean, it's still an Oyster Perpetual, so it's going to be water resistant. You're not going to need to worry about getting that watch a little wet. Rolex does a very great job compared to some of the other brands in keeping their movements in a very well-concealed Oyster case. And I would even say, you know, if you really had a good experience in college or whatever school you graduated from, I'm pretty sure there's a dial variation that has your school colors. You know, maybe if you had yellow as one of your colors, you could get something gold. Maybe if you went to UCLA, there's definitely a blue dial, you know, Datejust out there. It's something you could get basically any type of combination with. So I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, as you know, the graduation time is like the time of like spreading your wings and like entering the next step in life, whether it's like entering a gap year where you just completely travel, or, you know, entering your next opportunity, whether it's school or your career. But it always will have some sort of adventure. And obviously the watch for the adventurer, or at least the explorer, would be the Explorer. What do you think about the Explorer?
I think you made a great point. I mean, if you're looking at the Explorer, it's definitely someone who is looking for like that type of adventurous spirit. The roots are actually within the origins of mountaineering or spelunking. Essentially, the Explorer is meant to be one of those hardy watches that's going to last you. It can take a beating. Honestly, you don't want to beat up your Rolex, but it could really take a lot, you know. The Explorer 1 is a 36 millimeter watch. It is one of those classic timepieces I would probably want to hold on forever. I don't think it would ever be removed from the Rolex catalog. I don't think it's gonna ever kind of go into like an Air King type of situation where they had like 5 different Air whatevers. You know, there was like Air Lion, Air whatever. There was a whole bunch, and essentially they just kind of consolidated all into Air King. But the Rolex Explorer, seeing that they had a Explorer 1 and then they actually expanded to an Explorer 2, I think that really does kind of speak for itself. It's going to be one that you can really enjoy. Like I mentioned, it's a little similar to the Sub because one, it is going to be at a lower price point. It is a bit more attainable in regards to availability. And you have your whole life ahead of you. You have the Explorer. It's going to be one of those pieces where you could literally dress it up. You could dress it down. You could wear it with, you know, basketball shorts, or if you really want, you could take it with a suit to a wedding. You know, no one is going to look at the Rolex Explorer at a wedding and they're going to be like, that's not allowed here. You know, it's not, you'll never run into that situation when you're really wearing a Rolex. But because the Rolex Explorer is one that is intended for like these new adventures, these new chapters, or whether you're about to embark on a major trip, it's definitely one that kind of hits all the check boxes for me. There is the Explorer 2, the Polar. That one I think it's a watch I would prefer over the Rolex Explorer 1. The Polar one, it looks beautiful on that white dial. The other Explorer is on the black dial. This one is called the Polar because it has that white dial. It also features a 24-hour bezel. The bezel isn't moving like the GMT. It's basically stuck in one spot. And it also has the GMT hand, a giant orange GMT hand. It is also a bit bulkier than the first Explorer. So it would definitely be a bit more fitting if you know you want a bigger timepiece, something that fits your wrist a little better. Unless you have a small wrist like me, maybe you want the first Explorer, but honestly, the Explorer 2 is going to be just a killer watch. The reason why I say that is because it has a whole bunch of new features. You know, it's a bit more modern. It has, you know, like this completely unique look and feel compared to the first Explorer. So
yeah,
that's my take.
I was going to say, honestly, all of these are really, really good silhouettes for even the first time Rolex owner. I would say definitely the classic look with the date chest. So
there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the Explorer. But let's switch from grads over to the dads. Congratulations if you had a newborn recently. I know a lot of my friends did. But hey, it's Father's Day. Maybe you want to treat yourself to a special piece, right? So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I'm thinking if you're into watches, Vanessa could give us some suggestions of what she thinks you can pick up.
Yeah, so let's start off with the watch with the most advanced complications that Rolex has, which is the Rolex Sky Dweller. It has the dual time zone. It has the annual calendar. It's a very unique watch. It has, like I said, some of the most advanced complications. But I think the main reason why I bring this watch up is because the 326-235 model, the Oyster Flex bracelet with the Ever Rose case, and then that chocolate dial is a look that I think is super, it's such a beautiful, luxurious / sporty look that I could see like any dad wear no matter what age. And if you're listening, Dad, just give me a few years, just because I can't necessarily give you that right now. But yeah, I would have to go with the Sky Dweller. Your dad, I mean, being a dad, I'm sure is a complicated role in itself. So why not just like gift the most like advanced complication that Rolex has? And yeah, I would have to give it off to the Sky Dweller for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's a great pick. And that's, again, one of those watches you could basically wear anywhere, right?
Yeah. So we have so far the Sky Dweller for the dad. What's your pick?
Honestly, my pick would be the Daytona. The Daytona is one of those watches where it had a bit of a rough start. When it was first introduced, it probably wasn't really it wasn't a watch that people really wanted, which is what made, like kind of like these vintage Paul Newmans so rare and so collectible today. The Daytona is definitely one of those high performance watches. It is initially made to record either, your time, speed, or distance, like insert formula, whatever in your numbers, and you're given whatever information you're looking for. So with its roots, especially in racing, the Daytona is a great pick because it's always going to be a watch that's in high demand. It's never going to get old. And it's one of those pieces that you'll probably treasure forever. It has like almost a cult-like following. People will literally like trade their Daytona trade like a GMT and a sub for a Daytona. It's just one of those watches where it's so valuable, One, it has a great look. It has a very unique history where the movements weren't even created in-house by Rolex. It was created by Zenith. And, ever since its roots, it's slowly gained that popularity. It's gained that momentum into a fan favorite. I think there is another model that would fit the Father's Day role. What do you think that would be?
I mean, we have to end it off with the DayDate. It's the most prestigious watch, in my opinion. It is the watch of the president. It's such a high quality, luxurious watch, and it's nothing like having that like silhouette of the president watch, the little inlet where it has the day of the week, but also the Cyclops eye where it has the actual day. I think it's a classic watch. It's definitely a luxurious watch that you would like. I could see it being on even though there's like a Yachtmaster and I could see it being like that watch that also is amongst like that luxurious look on a yacht or whatever. But yeah, it would for sure have to be the DayDate. It comes in the 36 millimeter, also the 40 millimeter. And it's in that like shimmery, luxurious platinum or the different types of gold. Yeah.
I mean, I think especially with the DayDate being one of the most exclusive lines within the Rolex category, I think another point I want to mention is that it is made strictly from these precious materials. It's only made in yellow gold, rose gold, platinum, white gold, only the best of the best, right? So I think when I do think of dads, I think that really does fit the bill quite well. You want to give your dad kind of like the best of the best. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. We have our selection for dads and grads. We cover several different models. We hope that you've enjoyed the video, and we hope that you guys were able to at least learn some of the watches that would maybe fit your description, or maybe would fit at the this time in your life. So once again, congratulations if you just graduated with a new degree, or if you had a new kid, and happy Father's Day to everyone out there.
Yeah, congratulations to you guys and happy Father's Day. Make sure to tune in next week for our YouTube video. Make sure to also follow us on Instagram at The Watch Standard. Post a lot of really good watch content there, but also available watches if you're interested in buying a watch or selling a watch. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one.